Good morning, everybody. It is Monday morning, April 18th. So I want to tell you about some of the conversations that happened at Easter yesterday. And I have to say, I was pleasantly surprised. But the first thing I want to say is anybody paying attention to the whole Elon Musk buying Twitter and what's going on with people having meltdowns over that? I, again, have not been trying to keep up on what things are going on, but that keeps popping up on my recommended list on YouTube. And so I'll watch those clips every once in a while. And who would have thought free speech would put people in a tailspin? But I would like to see him take over Twitter, and then I would like to see it become a competition between him and Mr. T on Mr. T's New Truth Social and Elon Musk on Twitter, having a race to bring the truth out. Would that not be fun and interesting? I'll go for that. I'll root for that. So yesterday I went to my aunt's house for Easter and my brother and sister-in-law, niece and nephew came up from Southern Illinois. And there were some other people there, an aunt and uncle from up here in Indianapolis, and a cousin and that bunch. And the conversation, though, got really good after everybody left, and all that was left there was my brother, sister-in-law, niece, nephew, my Aunt Fran, who hosted the party, and me. And because up until then, everybody was just kind of sitting around on their phones, and me included, because I had done that video yesterday, so I was checking everybody's responses. But as everybody left, and we were sitting around the table, because my brother lives in Southern Illinois, so it's a 3-hour drive. And if they're going to drive up here, they're going to spend some time to visit with everybody and not just turn around and go home. So we were sitting at the table and just talking about all kinds of different stuff. And I was just kind of listening to see where everybody was at. And I have to admit, I did see a miracle yesterday with something that my aunt said. So let me kind of give you the background on that. She has one child. They were somewhat well off. I'm not going to say they were super wealthy, but to a lot of people, they had a good set amount of disposable income. And their daughter came late in life, so they had the money to send her to private schools. So she, from the time she started school, she was always in private schools. And she went to Brebeuf, which is a very elite high school here in Indianapolis. And then she went to Washington University. And now she is in Washington, D.C. And she's a teacher in Washington, D.C. So pretty much we have a far left liberal daughter. And the rest of the family really is not. So one of the things that my aunt had said last night or yesterday was, she goes, man, if I'd have known what they were teaching in schools, I wouldn't have spent all that money on elite schools. And she just kind of made a comment about what had happened to Washington, D.C. And, her daughter used to walk on water. And apparently maybe she's starting to see that what she created with sending her daughter to all of these fancy schools and what came out in the mix. So to hear her say that she would have done things differently, I'm just going to say that was a miracle in itself. One of the other things that I was happily surprised by is she is a financial consultant. So we got on the subject of silver and gold, and I would throw in little comments every once in a while because I was trying to figure out where everybody was at. It's like I wasn't going to drop any giant bombs in there and just have everybody immediately go, turn me off. So I was throwing stuff out to see what they picked up. They are more alert and aware than I expected, and I was very happy to see that, because they were talking, my brother and her were talking about possibly buying gold or silver. And I said, well, I've heard silver is the one thing that you might want to get your hands on more than gold, because silver is going to be in a lot of things in the future. And my aunt said, well, I don't know if it's going to be the future. It sounds like it's like right here. So So I have a little IRA SEP that I set up with her years ago, and I had not pulled that money out because I was afraid of the conversation and the poo-pooing that I would get from her about why did I take that out and buy silver with it? And I told her that I had been thinking about doing that, and she goes, "Well, I think that'd be a really good idea." And I was like, that even blew my mind. So I was pleasantly surprised by the conversations, talking about the school. My brother has kids, and of course, I do not have kids. And just hearing the things that were coming out of their mouths. And my brother made a comment about, well, we don't even know what to believe these days. And my aunt also had said, she's like, I think the government thinks that the American public just can't handle anything. But we're smarter than they think they are. They just need to pull off the Band-Aid. And I'm like, damn, it sounds like these people have been watching my channel and reading the comments from you guys, because it seems like you all feel the same way. So I am curious, if you did go to Easter with any of your family yesterday, how did the conversation go? Was it, again, split down the middle and people were fighting about what was going on? Were they on the same page? What were you finding if you spent time with your family and before maybe you didn't know where they were on the whole thing? So I'm going to say that and throw this out to somebody that is a homeschooler that watches me. I have a few homeschoolers. So one, I would like to know how many of you are homeschoolers. And I want to say thank you for doing that, because it takes someone extra special to be aware and alert that having your kids in the regular school system is not the best thing for them. And for you stepping up to the batter's box, or whatever you want to call it, stepping it up to plate and taking over the job that you thought you weren't going to have to be doing. And I'm sorry that you're feeling discouraged right now, but I want to just say thank you. And if there's anybody else out there that are homeschool teachers that are having some problems, speak up, because I appreciate it. And, those kids are my future. I don't have kids to put out into the world, so I'm going to have to rely on everybody else's kids to be the future. So anyway, that being said, I think that's it. I just would like to know what y'all think of that whole Elon Musk and Twitter, and how your conversation went at Easter. Are your people more alert and aware and ready for this to be done, or are they still running around with their head buried in the sand? That's it. Have a great Monday. Bye.